Good morning. Hi. Good day. I don't know what time you're watching this, so it's a little presumptuous to say good morning. Anyway, my name's Marge. I'm a Hyoka. I'm an empath. Welcome to my tube. We're glad you're here. Me and my critters. I like to do these little videos, little talks. Just give a little, just a channeling of how I feel. Things are going. You know, I'm pretty good at. I'm pretty good judge of character when there's character. Sometimes people just act in a kind of way. They just act because they've seen other people act like that, and it works positively for them. So they take on different personas, depending on the environments they're in. Like kind of like a chameleon does. Um, they just don't really know who they are, so they just kind of conform to whoever they're hanging out with. I see a lot of girls do it. A lot of my girlfriends have dated, not like girlfriend, just girlfriends have dated guys that I'm just like, who. They change their wardrobes, they change their, whether they wear makeup or the frequency of they change themselves to adapt to what the person wants. And I've done it myself. I used to do that too. I haven't been in a lot of relationships, and they've always been very important to me. Because who doesn't, who isn't love important to? And I never had like close relationships, not with my parents, not with my sibling. I have a point 0.5 and a 1 whole. He doesn't want to talk to me anymore. He's trying to decide that, but I can't talk about it because he just told me last night, so it's fresh. It goes back to I just don't get how people see me. You know, I don't think anybody's all bad. I don't think anybody's. I guess there's just people I decided that because we're related, that they can do whatever they want. They can treat me however they want because I love them, because somebody told me about unconditional love, and that's just what you're supposed to do. However, however, the key part about that is you're supposed to love yourself first, and nobody told me that in the beginning. So what I did is I didn't think I was lovable. Just because people didn't understand me, and they didn't even know, people a lot of times don't even know how to talk with me, so they just don't. Oh, that's just Marge. She's out there. I just have a higher bird's eye view than other people because I'm more open and receptive and willing um, to have an open mind and to accept realities and situations and ideas that are foreign from my native ones. I can change our mind. We can change our minds. We all have free will. It's just what people do with that free will determines the vibration, their vibrational frequency, if they vibe high or low. I was reading an article. Um, I told other stories about the time I worked at Creighton, and there's a young resident that was killed by a drunk driver there. And I talk a lot about drinking here, and this is not for people who are normal drinkers. And if you're a normal drinker, just think of that as you go to a party and you get a drink and you're talking with your friends. Well, you're not worried about where that drink is. You set it down, you go on talking about your friends, talking to your friends and getting, enjoying yourself. What do I do with that drink? That is normal drinker. Because there are people that drink like me that just consume things because we're sensitive. Or that's why I consume things. I can't speak while every why the cat just knocked over. That's his new thing. He's knocking over water dishes now. So, yeah, that went everywhere. Oh well. I'm trying not to get mad anymore or frustrated. Mad. It's the same vibration. I'm trying not to do it anymore. Because I can't control these things. They're gonna come out the way they're gonna come out. So, what happens is, so I was watching this. I was reading a story about this account that happened in Seattle last week or whenever it was, and a dude went freaking shooting up a bunch of people, you know, on a bus and stuff. Well, now, a couple days later, he doesn't have any recall, any recollection of it, because he was drunk. Yeah, yeah. So people like me that know that they're drunks and they drink, and you do make bad decisions. I mean, if bad things happen when you drink and you still drink, you might want to look at that, you know? I had to look at that for a real long time. For a long time, I didn't care because nobody cared about me. They didn't. Just always, what's wrong with you? You know how hard it is, you know, to be test for everything all the time. And I'm just like, I thought people were supposed to be kind and loving and honest and you know, believe in justice and all this stuff. I thought I was just doing what I was supposed to be doing. But what's wrong with you? You know? Yeah, yeah. What's wrong with you? You are so callous and, you know. Anyway. So, but drinking, what I found for me to be true is drinking, it removes our spirit. Yeah, it does. And there's a lot of, you know, and people, you know, I think people like to do things and then blame it on alcohol. Like, oh, I was drunk. Well, then why would you get drunk if you act like that? You know? And it's when you continue to do it for years and years and years and years. And you know what happens? I mean, think about it. Alcohol replaces the oxygen in our blood. That's how they get the blood alcohol count for the field sobriety tests and stuff like that. They see how the percentage of alcohol that's in your blood. It's right. Well, when you put in alcohol, you're replacing oxygen. Oxygen is the only thing that animates us. Yeah. So when people like, you know, and that is all that we are. That's what makes us is-be. You know. When you're in an is-be is be because they believe that they are. You know. They're aware they are. It's like algorithm and the kid and stuff like that. I'm listening to the Matilda O'Donnell McElroy transcripts. I'm on my third time. But I don't know, it just makes a lot of this stuff easier when I look around and I see humanity just so full of self, you know, selfishness, self, just me, gluttony, you know, money, rich, nah, you know, all this stuff that doesn't matter, you know. But people are supposed to just live like that way, and then they die, and then they forget, and then they come back and they do it again, and then, you know, whoever is in control, whoever it is, whether it's a freaking lizard or a freaking Stan Lee, I'm gonna boot him out. Whether it's a lizard or come on, kitty, freaking government, politicians, rich, greedy, gross dudes that are mad about things because they haven't seen their penis in 20 years, you know. But that's cool because they got Viagra. I talk trash. I talk a lot of trash because, you know, people could sue themselves. You know, people used to just always talk trash about me just to see if I'd break. They just do it, you know, and then they'd be like, and then they just see me, you know, and I'd get pressure. I just freaking, I couldn't handle being insulted anymore, and I'd freaking snap, and I'd freaking, not violence, but I'd freaking just verbally just, and then they're like, God, what's wrong with you? Like, you freaking people started, man. I'm no victim. I don't want that to sound like that at all here. I am no kind of victim. I am perfectly capable of taking care of myself in any situation, you know. I did ask for help with my brother, you know, but God, he's just not willing to see past, you know, but he's high up in government and his pretend fake paradigms that, you know, tell him that he's important, you know. That's what happens. You get all these bureaucrats, these politicians, and you pay them because they think, you know, you pay them what they no, they tell you what they're worth, and they think that they're worth so much, but they're not, because we're all equal. So they go to work and they're, you know, I don't make coffee anymore. I don't do this. Their list of the things that they don't do gets very shorter, but their paychecks get bigger. And there's just a great imbalance in that. See, because you're not that important. Yeah, and you're disposable, you know. They could fire you and get somebody else if they don't like your point of view. And all this stuff is happening. We don't even have to worry. You know, if you're a good person, if you're just trying to be honest and get by and freaking not get shot and freaking not get, you know, I mean, people just, random strangers have been known to yell at me from cross rooms and whatever. You know, people are just crazy. I just want to see people keep themselves safe. And right now, there's so many people shorting out, man. People are just shorting out all over the place. They don't know what to do with themselves. They don't know how to process the emotions that they're feeling. Because a lot of this stuff is like past life related, you know? It's like your past life, your DNA saying, hey, hey, wake up. I just think it's telling that, you know, with all the controllers, you know, there's this freaking yakko up in Oregon that wants to that saw that New York City was going to start tolling people to go into the city because, you know, to pay for the infrastructure. Well, what are you doing with all the other money that you're supposed to be using to pay for the infrastructure? And that didn't work. So quit charging people until you can sort out what you're already doing. So this, you know, so now the freaking meathead department transporter in Portland wants to do that. I just said it was a stupid idea. You know, charging people to visit your city is not encouragement, because I won't go. Oh, but that young man that killed those people just didn't have any recollection. He had no recollection. He was in a blackout drunk. You know, but the alcohol stays a tool of manipulation and control. That's why it won't, you know, I mean, it was illegal prohibition a while back, but they won't do that now because people have free will, but you're going to take their guns. This country's government is completely dissolving, and I think it's just really kind of apropos. So look over your shoulders. Today's April 2nd. You know, it's just going to be a chill week. We've all kind of, you know, people like me, I'm Aries, we're still in a holding pattern. Oh, everything's going to be so... I've been hearing how wonderful everything is going to be for like a freaking year. So I'm waiting for that timeline to drop, and then the verification of the circumstances of my life match the reality of what that's supposed to be. But that's for another story. I hope you have a rad day. Wish me luck today. Peace. Boop.